Welcome in, everybody. We got
Hello,
hundreds
everybody.
of you all filing in. Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good. It's a good rainy Thursday in Kansas City. We had fake spring for the last month, and I was
Mm.
already in shorts, already got all my summer stuff out, and now it's just kind of gloomy and rainy, which is probably good for my veggie garden, but not great to look out at from my window here, where I can see the
Uh-huh.
whole kind of backyard and street and everything. But
Veggie
yeah.
garden. What are you
Mhm.
growing?
Ooh, I have not talked to you about this. This year, I have uh 8 boxes in the back that have
Nice.
that you can put 12 or 14 plants in. So this year I'm going deep on peppers and tomatoes and all that stuff. My father-in-law will just eat jalapenos just like an
Oh yeah,
apple. So I just grow a ton of peppers for
love it.
him because he's really into that. But
He'll
yeah,
do it.
that's
He'll
yep.
consume them. Yeah, we love
Yeah.
jalapenos. We do that here. But yeah, throw it in the chat where you're calling from. I see it rolling in. And also I'm gonna steal from Emily Maybe, who's also here in the chat. But what was like the best thing you consumed in the last 24 hours too? Maybe it was
Ooh.
jalapenos, but I don't know. Ryan, what would you say?
I mean, I'm gonna default to coffee. My friend Sabrine, who works for Buffer, which I'm guessing people on this chat know, she's really cool. Be friends with her if you're not. She launched her own small brand of coffee, and I've been drinking
Nice.
that for the past couple of weeks, and it is delicious. And I'm
Yeah.
trying to get Ryan Q, who is on social for Zapier, into pour overs as well. So we'll see if I can get him into it.
Uh-huh.
What about
Love
you?
it. I'm a huge pour over guy as well.
Oh,
But
Sabrine is
yeah.
in the chat. That's hilarious.
Heck yeah. What's up in the chat? And yeah, what's up everyone? Kimberly from Missouri, the Natalia from Scottsdale. What's up? Best thing you consumed in the last 24 hours. Shari, chocolate. Go to. Love it. Another
Bryce,
chocolate fudge
are
Pop
you in
Tart?
Nashville?
Wow. Yeah, I'm in Nashville. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Have you been to Turkey and the Wolf yet?
I
If
have
not,
not. Oh,
from New Orleans, the
gotta
best
check
food
it
you'll
out.
ever have. Yeah, my
Okay.
wife's going down in a couple weeks, and I'm very jealous because that is some of our favorite food. It's
Um,
like
okay.
soul food. It's like modern soul food.
Love it. Yeah, I've not heard of it. I don't get out a ton. But I'll try it. Yeah, and it doesn't have to be food. What you last consumed. For me, I last consumed, and Ryan, it's like a little embarrassing, but I last consumed a video on cutting hair,
Ooh.
and I accidentally turned my hair into a mullet. Because apparently I've tried cutting my own hair. That's what I've tried. So didn't use Claude Code to cut my hair. I used my own fingers, and cutting the front way better, way easier. The back, whew, not so much. So I have a mullet, unintentional for now.
I mean, I'm not mad about it at all. I had a mullet for until yesterday. As you see, I have short hair now, but it was
Yeah.
full, full kind of flow in the back.
Yeah. It's a thing. Maybe I'd be trending last year, but we'll see. Things move so fast. That's kind of a theme
Hmm.
of AI and what we're going to talk about today. And I'm curious from you all. I'm going to throw a quick poll in Livestorm. You should see it come up. How are you feeling about keeping up with AI? Are you feeling like you're ahead of the curve? Are you keeping pace? A little behind? Or are you so lost? Let me know in that poll. If you don't see the poll, you'll see it. There's a little button at the bottom right of your screen. Poll. Ryan, do you see it okay?
Yeah, I'm seeing. I'm just laughing at the chat. Just somebody said, "I'm exhausted, to be honest," and I'm like, "Same."
Yeah. Totally.
Like
And
like jumping on a moving treadmill. Yep.
I'm looking at the results here, and I think y'all can see it too. Can you see it, Ryan? When you're looking,
Yep.
basically, okay, 65% of you feel a little behind. And then there's 20% of you keeping pace and about 4% ahead of the curve, 12% or so lost. Yeah, it's all over. So we're gonna talk a lot about this, help everyone get up to speed. It's honestly gonna be a super, super fun session. I'm really pumped for this. Um, we'll do a quick round of introduction for myself and Ryan, and then we'll get into some housekeeping and some other things. So if I haven't met you yet, I'm Bryce Vernon, AI marketing manager at Zapier. And I, just the other week felt extreme FOMO when a bunch of my colleagues were using Cursor and I hadn't yet. And it was a real deal. But I've jumped on the bandwagon. So anyway, that's my little FOMO story. Ryan, why don't you introduce yourself and tell me where you've felt FOMO?
Yeah, so I'm Ryan McCready. I do not actually work at Zapier, even though people think I do. I'm just a big fan and use it in all my stuff and like teaming up with Bryce and Ryan and everyone to do this stuff. I'm at Quo right now and I run my own content engineering agency that does a lot of this stuff. Where I felt behind was I think if people have connected with me, they know my story of I got laid off about this time last year for not having the right AI skills, just kind of out of nowhere. And that was kind of the wake up call I needed of like, the market is moving in this direction. So I started just building like a crazy person for like 3 months. Thankfully, I had some severance after the layoff to really dive deep. And like, that's where I felt behind. And ever since then, I've just been building and trying to keep up and building, trying to keep up. And I still feel behind sometimes. Like with Cursor, Ryan Q's Zapier kind of bullied me into using Cursor because he showed me all these cool things and I just kept putting it off and putting it off. But this last week I built some really cool stuff. So like you will feel behind and then you'll jump ahead. So it's kind of a moving thing throughout the market right now.
Yeah, no, I love that, man. And a big part of why all of you are here today, this is going to be a workshop. So like Ryan said, getting your hands dirty, that's like one of the main ways you can keep up with stuff. So we're going to actually do that today to get you all with your hands on the keyboard. But before we do that, few pieces of housekeeping just to make sure everything runs smoothly. Yes, the session is being recorded for you. You're going to get an email tomorrow morning with a recording and a bunch of resources. So don't worry, it's going to be recorded. If it's moving too fast, you got to jump something that's all okay. The other two bits when it comes to building, when we get in there, and I'll talk about this later, but Copilot, Zapier's Copilot is in there to help you build. So if you ever have trouble, you can literally talk to Copilot almost like you're having a one-on-one troubleshooting session with me, and Copilot's really going to help get the job done for you. So take advantage of that. And then also, there's no previous experience required with Zapier. However, what we are building today does require like a free trial account or a paid subscription. Just because we're going to be building a workflow with an AI step, it's going to need that. If you don't have one of those, you can sign up for Zapier and get a free trial or with like a new email maybe that you haven't used yet. But we'll get there towards the end. So wanted to shout that out. And then also for Livestorm, that's what we're using to actually host this workshop. You ask questions in the questions tab. So if you ask it in the chat, there's hundreds of you here. We're not going to be able to get to it real easily. So throw it in the questions tab. I've got my teammates, Emily and Molly, and maybe some others that are going to help answer questions and field those. So be sure to do that. And then lastly, adjusting sizes. There's a little bar, especially if you're using Chrome, that's what we suggest, but there's a little adjuster bar. So when we get into sharing slides like this or our screens, you can move us to be small or the screen bigger. Make sure you adjust that. You can also toggle that questions bar off to make the screen even bigger. So that's how you make adjustments. One more thing before we get into the agenda, we have tons of events. We're going super hard on events at Zapier this year. Lots of webinars and workshops just like this where you're actually building. So get out your phone, you can scan that QR code and you can see all of the amazing webinars and workshops coming up. I'm really looking forward to all of them, but number 3 here, like we trained our entire marketing team on Cursor and Zapier MCP. And we're going to get the team together to show you sort of what we built. And then there's also going to be a follow-up workshop that I'm going to lead to actually build Cursor from start. So pumped for that, but there's a lot of good stuff here. Make sure you bring this, send it to your team. Your team can really benefit from this too if you lead a team. So
yeah. I think we have one coming up in April too on content engineering. So if you're looking for the content side of it, just wait a couple more weeks.
Yeah, Ryan will show his face probably a few more times as things go on. So be sure to check that out. I also have got, let's see, let me just make sure you guys have this. There we go. there's that link too if you didn't grab that QR code for all those upcoming events. All right. Quick agenda, because we got a lot to cover. We're going to do a quick intro to each other. We did a little bit already, but then we're going to go through an AI timeline fun activity with everyone. And then we're going to actually build. And at the very end, if we have some time, hopefully we'll do some Q&A. We'll look at that questions tab. Make sure you upvoting questions too, because that's how I'm going to look at it. And we'll knock those out. All right. Okay. So another sort of intro to each other. I want to hear sort of what's your role in the chat. And then you sort of can fill in this blank. The AI hype that I'm most confused by is blank. So you could say, you know, what's your role? And the thing that you're like, what is that? So it could be like, hey, I'm a marketer. And what in the world is ClaudeBot? It's a weird word. I don't know what that is. So throw it in the chat. And Ryan, do you have something you want to throw in?
I'm not confused, but I'm seeing patterns in hype cycles, which we'll talk about. And I think I'm a little confused on, like, we talked about this yesterday. Like, I've seen this movie before. Like, we've seen kind of the hype cycles go a couple times if you've been super plugged into it for the last year and like really using a bunch of the models. I think that's what I'm confused about. Is just like, we've seen this before. We've seen this go massive tool and then something else replace it. So
totally.
That's my confusion.
Yep, I hear that. Yeah, in the chat, we got Jenny, Chief of Staff, confused by integration. A few of you, everything, totally get it. Tanya, Solutions Consultant, Claude Cowork, MCP. Yeah, some brand new stuff with Claude Cowork. Like, what is that? We're going to cover that. Josh, don't really see the value of agents. Gosh, agents, just even that definition, it's pretty blurry. I hear that.
We'll talk about that for sure.
Yeah, Craig, VP of Sales, good to have you. Yeah, thanks for throwing in the chat. Keep throwing in the chat. I'm curious because we'll take a look at this and it's super helpful.
I'm seeing a lot of confused where to start, and like my recommendation for everyone is just start. Like, pick something and start. Like, you will learn so much in the first hour. You'll learn so much in the first week, and that's how I got into it. I didn't have like, oh, you need to go through this certification or anything. I was just like, I have a lot of annoying things in my job. I want to build something for it. And you just go.
Yep. No, I love that. And that's such a good like segue too. Keep throwing in the chat. Great to see what y'all are putting in there. There's a lot of you. So take a look at what everyone else is also saying. But the good news is like we've all been confused, right? If it's not clear now, like we're all kind of in the same boat, Ryan and myself included. But the really great news, and Ryan kind of alluded to it in a recent LinkedIn post, if you didn't catch it, you don't need to master it all. So yeah, like Ryan, do you want to like give a quick voiceover? Like, what's your take? Explain this to us.
Yeah, so this is what I kind of alluded to with we've seen this movie before. Like, I've been through a bunch of hype cycles. It was Level and N8N last summer. It was I forget, it was maybe Cursor over the fall just for dev people. And it's just like we see these hype cycles and like trying to master everything just to be like ahead of the curve with AI is so hard, and it'll drive you crazy because it drove me crazy. It's like, I gotta try every tool. I gotta try every tool. I was a tool collector is what I call it. And once I kind of figured out like, oh, I need to take a step back, kind of figure out what my stack looks like, and then get really good at building with that, which is my stack includes Zapier, Notion, all that stuff. So like, just because these are popular tools, they're not for everyone. And kind of making your work fit in there isn't always like a winning battle you should go into.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, and y'all stick around. We're going to share a resource that Ryan put together, sort of these building principles that are super handy. I've read through them. I think they're extremely applicable no matter what you're kind of getting into. So stick around. We'll share that in a bit as well. So yeah, it is helpful to know what's happened, kind of what's worth spending some time on and why. I think a good frame but right before we get into this whole timeline of things that have happened is that at the heart of sort of everything AI is a really sort of simple idea. And Phil, our loving buddy Phil, who's all over the internet, you should see, but he said it so well. AI is an orchestrated chat. That's really at the heart of it. This is what's going on with AI. is that you give AI something, right? And it gives you something back. Like that's really it, right? So what changes is like who's starting the conversation, and then what information is sent through, and kind of who receives that message back. But it really does look like this. So in ChatGPT, right, you're obviously, it's a chatbot, you're sending a message in, AI is doing some prediction and some things, and it's giving you a response back. And an agentic workflow, which we'll build later, right? An app is the one who's sending the message in. And then AI is predicting and doing some things. And then AI responds maybe to the next app. And then something like Lovable, right? You're sending a message, and then AI is predicting and sending maybe another message to another AI, another agent. There's multiple agents working, and then it gives you a response back and sort of a display of something that it's built. So it all is sort of like different forms of this basic concept. So keep this in mind as we go through all these little hype moments and how things work, that at the heart, like this is what AI looks like.
Yeah. And I think understanding that it's not some magic thing where you can give it nothing and it'll give you something great. You kind of have to know what you're giving it. You have to make sure the prompts, the inputs, all that stuff are really strong, or else it's, I call it garbage in, garbage out. You can give it great stuff and it'll give you pretty good stuff. If you give it bad stuff, it's going to give you garbage. So that's another thing to kind of keep at the back of your mind. It's not magic. It's just a lot of things happening.
100%. Yeah. So keep that in mind as we work through this timeline. The goal after this is for you to feel a bit more up to speed. So let's take a look at this timeline, but we're going to play a little bit of a game. This isn't just going to be Ryan and I preaching at you. We have a bunch of AI moments lined up here on this timeline. For each one, Ryan and I will introduce it and chat a little bit about it, but we want you to throw in the chat if you think it was mostly hype or if it's legit, like something that still has traction today. Does that make sense? So in the chat, I'll give you the moment to throw it in. I want y'all to let us know. Daniel might be guessing. We're gonna, a couple, softballs at the beginning.
Legit.
And of course, these dates, not super exactly precise. I used my own like internal hype meter to determine each moment's peak hype score and correlated it with the date. So they're not exactly precise, but just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Are y'all ready? You ready, Ryan?
Yep.
ChatGPT, AI goes mainstream, right? Released in 2022. Everyone's first date with AI. Ryan, do you even remember this?
No, I do not. I remember it bubbling. I remember things bubbling up and being like, "Hey, there's this cool thing happening," but it was just like, where would I have been 2022? I don't even know. But yeah, I think it was just like, "Oh, this cool thing," and I just shelved it because it
Yeah,
seemed too early and like the outputs weren't good, so like wasn't worth it.
totally. I don't remember. Don't remember at all. Was not on the bleeding edge. But hey, what's the verdict, y'all? You're throwing it in. I'm seeing a lot of legit, some hype. Okay. Legit. We're gonna call this one legit, right?
Yep.
100 million users in 2 months. It's now at something like 700 million weekly users, probably more.
Yeah.
And it's the default AI for most people who are using AI. But I mean, there's still lots of people who aren't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, softball for you all. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. What else do we have on this list? January 2023, AI gets automated. So this is, OpenAI, team behind ChatGPT, they released an API. So now AI can be put inside of an automation. Early days, people would probably, they put in a blog post and AI spit out social posts, something like that.
Yeah.
What do we think, Ryan?
I think you know my answer for this. It is legit. It is how I started building with AI. I was an N8N evangelist, as if you follow my shares, you'll know. But it just was too clunky. And then I had a conversation with Wade randomly, and he's like, "Why aren't you just doing this in Zapier?" And I'm like, "I guess I could." And ever since then, just been building in Zapier.
Totally. Totally. Um, Yeah, a lot of people are throwing legit some hype. We're going to keep moving here, move through this quick because we are going to get down to actually building something in Zapier. So stick around for that. We're going to keep moving. So March 2023, this is when there was this arms race for best model. So Bard came out. It's now Gemini, right? GPT-4 comes out. New models were coming out regularly, like crushing benchmarks, trying to beat it. It was a wild time. What do we think here? Was this legit hype? Throw it in the chat. What are we thinking? Hype? I'm seeing a lot of hype. Hype? Daryl? Hype? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna say this is hype. The reason why we're saying this hype is at this point, models are more or less diverging. So you can use each of them for different things. There's not necessarily this like, one model to just rule them all. They are, lots of models that come out, but I use them for different things. Ryan, do you have any thoughts?
I think it's hype, yeah, as you know, will show, but the models have diverged so much that like trying to create one model that does everything underneath one company just doesn't work. And they've realized that. I mean, there's Sonnet 4.6, there's Opus 4.6 now, there's all these different ChatGPT and Gemini ones, and it's just like not every model is perfect for everything. And I think people realize that.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we're going to keep moving. October 2023, the AI marketplace, GPTs came out. I remember using one for coloring book pages, I think, for my son. Did you ever use, do you have some custom GPTs?
I built a few, and then I realized that I can just put them into Zapier and they'd be better.
Yeah, I hear that.
That is.
Yeah, so we're going to say hype there. The store was a flop. I think what we realized is like it's not really necessarily these prompts, these saved prompts. It's like the deep expertise and context of people and knowing what good looks like. We're sort of seeing this with skills right now, right?
Yeah.
But that's more
Yeah.
important. So,
Yeah.
all right, we're going to keep going. I know a lot of you guys in the chat. Thanks for letting me know feedback. It looks like, people are like, hey, Will, you're ready to build. Don't need the history lesson. I appreciate that. We're going to keep moving through this, but we'll get to build here
I'm
in a
gonna
minute.
put a little asterisk on that, not knowing the history lesson. We have been in it for a year plus, and like not knowing where we came from is kind of what we get in these hype cycles. So that's why we kind of wanted to explain this before jumping into the building mode. Is you don't want to be just chasing the next hype cycle. You kind of want to understand where things come from.
Yeah, because we're seeing. I mean, there's tons of hype going on. So even like AI makes video, right?
Yeah.
This was huge moment. Thought Hollywood is dead. Thoughts on this? I mean, legit.
I never use video. Yeah, it's hype. I never use video or even like Banana. I think it's like you can tell it's not even. I don't know. I'm a purist when it comes to design and writing, so maybe I'm the worst person to ask about that.
Yeah. I mean, they're cool. I mean, I feel like it's hype, especially for business so far. I mean, I haven't seen a whole ton, right? Great for laughs. I mean, I love the Stormtrooper videos. It was pretty great, but it costs so much money to create these so far
Yeah.
that it's like, I don't know, right? All right, we're moving along. We're getting closer to today, but August 2024, Cursor had came out a little bit earlier, but at this moment, it looks like developers might be shifting from AI as a chatbot into more like a Copilot edit code. I'm not a developer, but would be curious. Verdict on this one. Legit? Hype?
I think it was legit. I mean, I'm still using Cursor now, and I remember when I was at Whimsical, like all the developers were like, "Ooh, have you heard of this cool thing called Cursor? We're doing code reviews and we're doing all this stuff." So I think it's legit, but I think now it's also veering a little bit into hype, kind of like I feel about Claude Code, where it's just like the new thing that people are jumping into too early.
Yeah, totally. So legit there for sure. Fastest growing SaaS of all time. Developers are not going back. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get through these next ones. MCP, Anthropic releases this. This is something that is for sure still around today. Legit. everyone actually ended up adopting it, which is amazing. And it allows your AI chat and AI to take action in apps. So super legit thing that's being used today. In January 2025, that's when it was like the year of the agents. So I think the promise was like, you build them, they work completely on their own and achieve their goals. So this one is like a bit of a toss up, right, Ryan? But
Yep.
like, I think at the end of the day, that promise is a bit of a hype
Big
because
hype.
we realize, right, AI automation needs guardrails, human checkpoints, oversight, needs autonomy. Like autonomy without accountability, super risky, not a feature, right? You need that human in the loop, Kate, exactly. Super important.
Yeah, I still think, yeah, up until now, agents have been hype. I'm starting to see some use cases of them now, but how they were sold to us, definite hype.
Yeah, I think the definition of agents is like the thing to sort of get right. It's like AI that can take action, yes, for sure. Something that just doesn't need any oversight whatsoever. Not something we're seeing today. All right, just 3 more left here. Vibe coding. You start with a prompt, you watch it build for you. What's the take on this? I mean, I see a lot of legit in the chat, but
I, I think it was, we talked about this. I think it was taken, the vibe coding in my brain fits Lovable, fits Bolt, fits all these things. But I use vibe coding to write JavaScript and Python and all these things that I use in my Zapier flows. And I think that's an even better use of vibe coding, of just writing little code snippets that I as a marketer could never do, but enables me to build all these things. Like, sure, I built a ton of Lovable, but like I haven't touched it since like maybe summer of last year because it just doesn't fit my use cases of what I'm building. So I think I'm kind of in the side of like vibe coding is both, but it's also being used incorrectly as like a term.
yeah, I hear that. I mean, yeah. So we kind of like we're mixed. It depends on your, the way you're approaching it, what you're using it for. I mean, obviously doing little MVPs, tools, some websites, it can be pretty powerful. But sort of like production ready stuff, it's tough. But it depends on who you are and kind of what you're using it for, right?
Yep.
All right. So this is actually when Ryan starts building with AI. He didn't start
Yeah.
building until March
Look
or
how much.
something last year.
Yeah, like about a year ago. Look how much has happened before that. And I've only been in it for a year, and I felt so behind
Hmm.
that so many people probably feel now. Like this is the first stuff I built. Like those are stuff in Lovable. I built like a resume analyzer. I built stuff in NA10. I built this thing that would ghost write for like executives at companies, and it taught me so much about it. Didn't launch anything. Things broke. It wasn't like probably
Hmm.
the best use of my time other than learning all this stuff, but like you have to go through that journey, and that's kind of why I wanted to
Yeah.
talk through this timeline. Is like you have to have like a building journey to get really good at this stuff. You can't just jump from tool to tool to tool to tool, because you'll just keep making the same mistakes, keep learning, keep having to learn a whole
Yeah.
new tool. So like that's my biggest lesson with like for people feeling behind, like pick something and stick with it for like a month. You'll learn so much, and if you're jumping from tool to tool, you're just going to burn yourself out.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. It's definitely a journey. I'm with you. All right. So 2 more left, and then we're going to get to building. This one here, it doesn't really have a term or a category, and I'm calling it an AI workspace. Basically, the idea is like, hey, developers used Cursor for managing files and code. Could non-devs use something too? And the verdict here, we're saying legit. The reason why we're saying legit here, AI is all about managing context. So going back to the basics, managing files and folders, making sure it's connected is something we're seeing as a super valuable way to work with AI. So last one here, and then we'll get moving. OpenClaw. A lot of people were confused by this. We sort of are too, in a way. We don't know. I think it's a big
Yeah.
TBD on what this looks like. Good news is we do have a webinar for this coming up. So if you're curious to see about OpenClaw, the use cases there, and how to do it safely, that's what this sort of next webinar is gonna be about. All right, so a lot have happened. I know we're antsy to get in and start building, so we're gonna do that. Why don't we'll move past this, Ryan, and let's just get to your principles of building, and then we'll get to the actual build time.
Yeah, so that whole journey that I went through last year and up until now taught me a ton about building with AI. Please add me on LinkedIn after this. I will send you this whole document. It is multiple thousands of words of how to start building. Yeah, it's right there. How to really start from nothing. And like it's all kind of the lessons I had to learn the hard way. So put it all in a doc. It's something that you can pick up, and they've got examples of builds from Zapier in almost every principle. So we can jump into that at the end, and I'll show it off if we have time. But it's right there. Add me on LinkedIn if you have any questions, or if you want the build guides, because I give out the build guides for almost everything I build in Zapier that people can use and go through as well. So just let me know.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great resource. Okay, so we're going to get ready to build an AI workflow in the second half. So for all of you who have already built in Zapier, maybe this isn't brand new to you. For anyone who is new to Zapier, totally okay. You can start from scratch with us. The idea here is to put AI into an automated workflow, right? And to understand that part of it that's still sort of around today, still being used and is super powerful. And it more or less looks like AI kind of being put in a workflow. And so if you understand and build this, then the sky's the limit on sort of what you can build. This is just how to think about AI workflows. And so
Yes.
one thing to like keep in mind as you think about AI use cases is sort of like, why is this so powerful? This is sort of what's possible, right? Is that, a trigger starts a workflow off. It could be any app, could be a new lead, new form submission, updated task. And then you take that context and then you do what AI is really great at doing, which is these in the middle, right? Extracting, summarizing, classifying, writing. And then at the tail end, it can then also take action in, a ton of different apps as well. There's 30,000 actions in Zapier. So all this stuff can sort of start happening automatically. And it's a huge sort of unlock as you start building with AI. So like I mentioned before, let Copilot help do some of the building for you. If you have ways you want to tweak this workflow that we're going to build, if you have troubleshooting questions, you'll see Copilot. It's there throughout the platform. And all you have to
Yep.
do is chat through what you want.
Yeah. And one hack is like if you're brainstorming in Claude or whatever, just say, hey, write me a Copilot prompt that I can dump in here. I've done that so many times, and it just kicks off the building process so much faster. And you can kind of do your brainstorming a little bit more, a little bit easier in Claude or something than just be like, I know what I want to build, put it in Copilot, and you're off to the races.
Totally. All right, so we're going to get ready to build. My recommendation is if you have two monitors, have us in one and Zapier in the other. Like I mentioned, you do need a either free trial of Zapier or a paid account, because we are going to be using what's called a multi-step Zap, so we can put AI into a workflow. If you don't, it's okay. You can watch along or even catch the recording if you want to spin up a trial after. But for everyone, there is a free trial as well you can get just by signing up to Zapier. And then you'll also need sort of a receipt image, because we're building a sort of a receipt classifier. And so this could be used for expenses and just shows how AI can take an image and quickly put it into a table. I've got an example receipt image that I can send you if you don't have one. And then, of course, yes, a can-do attitude. We're going to have Ryan actually share his screen, and I'm going to
Yep.
guide him through it so that he actually hasn't done this yet, but I'm going to guide him through it so that we're kind of all on the same page. We made it really simple for you because we want to have this system up, and so we can go in and look at it, and you all can adjust and change it as you wish. And so what we're going to do is start from a template. So even Ryan, I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
Yep.
And then Ryan, whenever you're ready to share your screen, go for it, and you can click that template.
Yes, so this is the template, the receipt classifier. I actually built something like this for all my tax documents, and it just makes staying on top of the small things so much easier. And what I talk about in the principles of building is like start with something small, learn how to build, and then go crazy. I didn't follow that advice when I started building. I tried to build the biggest things that I could to tackle all these big problems because as a content marketer, we have so many big problems. But I skipped all the
Yep.
learning phases that I learned with these small ones. So start with small, build bigger.
Yep.
So,
Great.
ready?
So
Just
yeah,
to
I'm going to
try it?
guide you through. So everyone should be seeing the
Oh,
same sort of screen that Ryan is seeing.
I'm not getting
Um,
it. Did I
and
break
it says
it?
something went wrong when trying to use this template. Oh no. Let me see this. Oh, we hit an error. Live demo. This is not fun, but it happens. That's totally okay. Let me see if I can switch gears quickly. Oh, now it's working for you, Dana. I wonder if it's like everyone is clicking it at the same
Yeah.
time.
Did we break
Okay,
it?
it
Let's
worked
try
for
it.
you. Now, am I seeing it? Here, try it. Try it again. Okay,
It's working for
maybe
everyone but me.
do a refresh. It's working
Okay.
for people. I'm going to take a minute to make sure everyone in the chat. Let me know
The
in the chat when you've
the
got this template, you've clicked try it, and it's building it for you.
Let me
Worked for
try again.
you. So
We
there's
broke
like
everything. Nope. Oh, let me just go see if it's just making 100 of them in my
not yet,
actual.
not working. Let me know. Let me know if it is working for you in the
Oh,
chat.
I think I'm getting it. It says building
If it
workflow.
is working, let's see it.
Okay. I'm in, I think. What are we supposed to do again? Fair.
We're all in this together. All right, I'm going to
There we
promote
go.
this again on the screen. Click that link and then maybe give it like a refresh when you open the link.
I had it open in another tab and just went to that and it works. So I don't know if it was just like the internet tube's not working or something. I don't know.
Okay, so the link is on the live storm where you're going to see it pop up on your screen. You'll see visit template in the link. Okay, so it sounds like Nicole, when she was able to look at the template and open it in Canvas, there's a button if you scroll down on the template. Let's see that. Let me share my screen and make sure everyone's on the same page. Thank you all for bearing with us. We are moving. We're going to get through this together. So, all right. So I'm here at the template. Instead of clicking try it, let's see if you click open in Canvas.
That worked for me too.
Okay. It looks like that's the way to do it. So you're going to click open in Canvas. You're going to scroll down and click open in Canvas. Perfect. I'm seeing that works. Amazing. We got this. We got this. Minor difficulty. Man, I wonder if it was like everyone at the same time or what. I will check that out. Okay. When you open in Canvas, it should open it up and then you'll click use template. Okay. Let's have everyone do that. You're going to click open in Canvas and then you'll see the big blue or purple. Use this template. Click that. And then Ryan, when you're ready to share your screen, I see it worked. Amazing.
I am ready.
First hurdle jumped.
We did it.
Wonderful
Yep.
job, everyone. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so let's pause for a second. Make sure everyone's on the same page. So what we're seeing right here is what's called a Zapier canvas. It just shows us all the pieces that are that have been built for this particular system. What we have on the far left is a form, and then when someone fills out the form, then it will be stored in a table. And I'm going to
Yep.
promote.
Right
Just
here.
make sure I have the link. Should be on your
I love ta-
screen.
I love tables, by the way. I have a share coming out next week about how much I love tables and how I use it. So people look out for that. It is my
Nice.
favorite back end hack to just dump a ton of information into. So
Amazing.
keep your eyes peeled for that.
Yeah. So everything that's submitted, the receipts will be stored in a table. And then we see a zap, and that's where that AI workflow is happening, where AI is going to be doing things, and then it will update the receipt in the table with the right category. Make sure if y'all have questions, throw them in the questions tab, or like I said, you'll see Copilot in the bottom left.
Right here.
Maybe Ryan, open that up just to show people. When you open that up, yeah, you can like explain my canvas. You can talk to Copilot. You can have it do stuff. So if you get stuck, feel free to do that. But I'm going to guide us through the very next steps. What we're going to have you do, Ryan, is open up the form. So you'll click next to the Zapier form logo, actually.
So right here, guys. No, right there? No, this?
You'll go here. Let me turn on my, this is great. Turn on my annotation. Where is my annotation stuff? I don't know if I can see it. So
if I click here, it keeps it in the preview, so we don't have to jump around.
We'll need to actually go to the form to be able to like submit one. So if you go back to the canvas.
Yes. Right here. You click here.
Right here. Yeah. And then next to the form logo, you'll see open form. That's where everyone's going to open it. So this is a form this is the form builder that we're looking at. And what we need to do is actually visit the form itself to be able to submit a test receipt. And so the URL is at the very top right.
Like right here?
Yeah, of your screen. You'll see the URL for your form.
Yes.
When you click that, it'll bring you to this form. Now, what we want to do is just to test the workflow, we need sort of an example. So what we need is a sort of receipt. So I have this little image of a receipt that you can grab that I just popped a link of, or you can grab sort of any, if you have a receipt on your computer, you can do that.
Dang, Bryce. Ton at Uber Eats.
I know, that was a big order. I mean, I got a big family, you know.
That's fair. That's fair. One thing that I'll throw on that I love about tables, or sorry, forms, is you can test inputs into AI steps a lot faster. So instead of hooking it up to Notion or whatever, if you just want to test like how some information will flow through all the AI steps, you just build a form and you just kind of fill out the form and you can run really quick tests. So like that's how I test a lot of my early builds, when I'm like, hey, this could work, but I don't want to spend time building the whole flow.
Totally. So let's take that receipt. So that's where we're at. We're going to take a receipt file and we're going to actually fill out this form by like putting in that receipt file.
And you can upload text files, which I love. So upload receipt.
Click upload receipt.
Nice. Okay, let's go
back. Let's pause there for just a second. In the chat, just let me know if you have successfully uploaded a receipt to your form. Give me a yes, a done. We'll give it a second. Okay, lots of yeses. Love to see it. So we're all here. Okay, perfect. All right, Ryan. So what we're going to do is navigate back to that original canvas that shows us kind of all this stuff.
This guy.
Yep. All right. Now, everyone go back to this canvas. And now what we need to do is we're going to take a look at the actual AI workflow, what we call a Zap. And we're going to work through that. So, next to the little Zap icon, there'll be a button that says Open Zap. You'll click that. Perfect. And we'll be in the Zap. So I'm going to just pause for just a second.
Yeah.
We went to the canvas. We're opening up the Zap itself because we're actually make some edits on it. So next to the Zap icon in the canvas, you'll see sort of the open button. So we're going to walk through this and we're going to see how this works. And this is where you're going to have an opportunity to adjust sort of your AI workflow. The first thing that happens, right, is when something's submitted, a new record is created in the Zapier table where it's going to be stored. And so we're going to click into that first trigger app, which is Zapier Tables, and navigate over to the test tab.
Test, yep. So this is already filled out for us. So all we have to do is test, hit test. It's going to think for a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll click.
We found it. Yeah.
Test trigger. and then it should pull in. So we'll wait here just for a second. It
One little thing I
says,
want to
for
throw.
a few of
Yep.
y'all, it says upload not working. So on your form, just make sure you're uploading like a JPEG or a PNG file.
So David, click here. If you're getting stuck, click here, this link right here, and that'll take you to the actual form. So this is the editing side of it when you like build a form, and this is the live form. So that's what you have to
Yes.
upload it to. So just hit browse, and then you can upload it.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you're in the form, yeah, you might be in the editor of the form where you can like change fields. Got to click the form URL, just like Ryan pointed out, in the top right of that editor screen, and then you'll submit your form.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Great clarification. So once you've done that, we're opening up the Zap, and we're in the Zap right now, kind of looking about how this AI workflow works. You'll click the, to get to the Zap, you'll see it in your canvas, and there's that little button that looks like it's going to open something in a new window. You'll click that next to your Zap icon in the canvas, and it'll get you to this Zap.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Here, I'll go back and show everybody one more time. So you click this right here, right there, the little thing, it opens a Zap, and we are in right here. And this is what you should see.
Perfect. Okay. So we went to this trigger, right? And this is the big thing about workflows, right? Is this trigger will fire off when a new submission is added. You don't have to like manually queue up a chat with AI, right? This is automatically happening when someone submits a form, right? So when we're here, we went to the trigger and it opened up when a new record is populated in Zapier tables, and we went to the test tab. We clicked run the test, and we see a record was pulled in, record B. It should be record B for everyone. That's the one. If you filled it out with a receipt, you're going to see that populate here, right?
Right here. Yeah. So you click this continue. Go ahead.
We're just taking a look at how things work. It should all be kind of set up for us, which is nice. So we'll click continue with selected record at the bottom. And this gets us to the next step. Do you want to X out of this just to make sure everyone knows where we're at?
So we clicked here first. We confirmed that it worked. Then you can click into the AI by Zapier, which I am a big fan of using because you can use all the different models. I use a lot of the Anthropic ones, but you can also use ChatGPT, all these things. So
yeah. So yeah, if y'all are lost, totally okay. I know we're gonna keep moving here. We will send you the recording so you can kind of see this step by step. For all of you who are with me and with us, we're gonna keep moving here. So the AI step in the middle. Now, what this is doing, you don't really have to do anything here. We're just looking at it. It's taking sort of the receipt that you uploaded and taking that and feeding it into AI. And so you can see here, the receipt image is like a field, and it has
right here
the actual URL of that image, and it's sending it to one of the AI models. Right now, it's set on GPT-5 Mini. You can see Zapier provides the models, a lot of the models for you for free that you can use. And what this AI is doing, if we go down just to the prompt, Ryan, so we can see that.
Yep. Right here.
Yeah, the screen's being a little laggy, so we're just going to give it a second. There we go.
Oh, okay.
All right. So from here, this is all the AI is doing. This is more or less what we're, if we were in ChatGPT, this is what we're typing into ChatGPT. But now we're able to do it automatically on repeat every time a receipt comes through. The prompt is like, hey, look at this and categorize it into one of these categories. And this is where if you want to change your categories, you could do that here. You can change the prompt. And what's going to happen is when this is run, if you scroll down, we can see the fields it will output. And it will actually output the category field. So it's going to choose a category and output the field. So we can click Generate Preview on the far right to see what the AI would do with the receipt that we submitted. So we'll give it a
what
second.
It's doing now is pinging the API with this. What it does is it takes the prompt, it takes your inputs, kind of mashes them together, and then shoots it at the API, and the API is coming back with something. Like we said, you're giving the model something, it gives you something back. And like this one's doing food, and it categorizes it as food and dining, which is
Yeah.
exactly what it needed to do.
Which is amazing because it was Uber Eats. And that's
Yeah.
great. You would see Uber and hope that it would not be
Yeah.
transportation. So it's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to click finish. This is where like a lot of the work is happening, right? In this step where AI is taking stuff that you've given it from another app, so from a form in this case, and then doing some stuff, processing it, and giving some output. So click finish, and we'll just look at this last step, which is just updating that
Record.
table record. And so when we click into that, we can go to the sort of just the test tab, and we'll just click the purple test step.
Yep. And it's succeeded.
Okay. So what we'll do to finish it out is just click publish. And before you do anything, Ryan, we'll just give it a breather and look at sort of the Zap, the outline and what's there. And I'll just check in with the chat. So who's with me right now? Like, are we tested? Do you have your Zap published? Almost there. Throw it in the chat to let me know where you're at. Okay, Cat's 100%. Okay.
Someone asked, how do you identify it's the right record? So all this information that comes from the table and the trigger, it gives you a ton of information, and you kind of just fill out the field. So you take the record ID from the first step and you put it in the last step. And like with this template, it's already filled in, but you'll kind of see as you work through, you're like, oh, it gives me this, I want to put it there. And that's how you make sure that one and one are connected. So you have so much information coming in, you don't have to use all of it, but that's how you kind of match things up.
Yeah. Okay. So for anyone who is totally lost, that's quite all right. You've got most of what you need here. What I'd suggest, and Ryan, you don't have to do this right now, but just for those who are totally lost, you can open up Copilot and tell them, hey, I'm trying to build this thing to classify receipts. Like, can you help me get this across the finish line? Literally say that. And Copilot will be able to see what you're working on and help you get this across the finish line. You don't have to know all the details about how it works to actually make this thing work, which is amazing. So use Copilot and have fun. You're not going to hurt anything, especially with what's being used here. They're just, a form you've already built. It's not touching any of your systems. So you can kind of go wild with Copilot to see how it's working and what you need. Again, you do need a free trial to be able to publish something like this, or a paid account. So if you run into that problem, that's what's going on. But all right, let's do one test of this, Ryan. What I want you to do is open up the form so it's there, and then also the table where things are stored.
Okay,
and so we can kind of see things come through. You could either, go to the canvas or wherever.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the form. I'm going to do browse files. I'm going to drag it in, upload receipt, and then let's jump over to the table. So what's happening here? This is the test one.
And Ryan,
it
might be frozen on my end. I'm not sure. I'm just seeing your Zap right now.
Sorry, everyone. I jumped back to the receipt. So I uploaded the second receipt, and in this file, and then it ran. We'll jump over the table. So what it's showing us right here is where the backend exists. So once we uploaded the first receipt image right here, it ran through the Zap. Here, I'll do it all over again to show how easy it is.
Yeah.
So let's just start over. So when you click into the form, you get here. This is the editor. You can see that. You don't want to be here. You want to click here to upload it. And this is the actual form. So you browse your files, you grab your PDF, it uploads it, you click upload receipt. This is what kicks off the Zap. This is what that sends it to the table, which kicks off to the Zap that does the actual classification. So you click upload receipt. And then let's jump over to here, and you can see the image is added, but there's no category yet. So the image has been added, it's waiting, and there it goes. And it's ran the actual Zap, and it happened in real time. So each of these are being added. Each of these are different Zap runs that you can just you can kind of have a nice backend, and like you can build this in Notion. I build a lot of my stuff in Notion, but this is just real easy to show off kind of the mechanisms of how it works. It's taking a form, all the information you give it, running it through Zapier, putting it back in the table. So you've got a nice kind of like record of everything that's happening. Like I said, I use this for my tax documentation stuff just to keep it. When I
Nice.
get an email, it's like, hey, here's another W-2 or whatever form. Just throw it into
Yep.
this app, and then when I have to go throw all my stuff to my accountant, it's all nice and organized. So
Amazing. All right. I know we got 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna take your screen down for a second. So great job, Ryan, moving through that. Great job, everyone, sticking with us. What we built today was a fundamental AI workflow, right? This
yes,
idea that an app can trigger something, and then AI can start getting to work, and then actions can be taken afterwards, right? And so when you blow this out, right, an app can start a workflow, and then you can have, a Zapier agent be a piece in the middle that does research for you. You can have an AI step that categorizes things. You can do all these things sort of deterministically, and then at the end of the day, create a Google Doc that's then
yep.
sent to your team in your chat. So the limits kind of open up when you kind of use your imagination about how to use AI in this way, in this deterministic way. So, yeah, Ryan, do you have any last words there? And then we'll get to kind of see the last
Yeah,
point here
I
in
mean,
Q&A.
I'm a big fan of agentic workflows. That's why I like building in here. A lot of the stuff that happens in Claude Code and Cursor is still prompt based. You have to kick it off. But like the stuff I built, this intro call extractor that listens to all of our discovery calls. Every time a call happens in Gong, it runs this like 16-step agentic workflow, does everything I need it, and builds this nice database of every call we have. I saw people build, they're like, oh, I built this amazing thing. And they're like, first step, copy and paste in the Claude code. I'm like, this could be such an easy agentic workflow if you just take a step back. So
Totally. Yeah. The idea is to get out of copy and paste. That's a
yes,
big thing. All right. One last thing here. Did want to call out. A lot of people don't know this. Zapier can really get close with you in your organization to help you sort of understand how to lead AI transformation. So you can contact our team, and we'll actually take 30 minutes and kind of give you sort of an understanding and walk you through how AI kind of sits in your organization, what's might be slowing progress. Things like that. So I didn't want to leave this out. I want to make sure y'all do have the opportunity to get this free chat with our team. So be sure to take a look at that and contact our team. We've got 3 minutes left, which isn't much for Q&A, but we will take a look. I'm going to navigate over to this Q&A tab and see what we got. I know there was a lot of questions that came through. So the most upvoted one might be the one that we look at. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We're going to go with this. Xavier, great question. You've subscribed to Claude, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Copilot. What the heck? How do I pick the best one for my business and not carry heavy subscription prices on each of these tools?
I got an answer to that. It's spicy.
Let's hear it, Ryan, because we got 2 minutes, so we'll need the spice.
I say what I do. Here's what I do is I have Cursor running on my my Anthropic API. I have Zapier running on my Anthropic API. I say pick an API, stick with it, learn how it works. There are some nuances between using different models, like really dive deep into that and just get good at it. And like that will help you build so much faster than going from all these different tools. So like I would say pick one chatbot and then pick one API, probably the same one that'll help you a lot, and then just cut the rest and get really, really lean with your build and your models, or sorry, your stack, and you will build a lot faster instead of jumping between all these different tools.
Yeah, I love that. Kind of goes back to sort of those basics of what AI is. It's like message in, you get a response out, kind of like trimming that down and putting it into practice. Yeah. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for
This is
joining.
fun.
This was fun, rapid fire. We went
Jeez.
after it. There's a few things I want to make sure everyone does get. definitely, connect with Ryan on LinkedIn. I put the link there in the chat. And then
Yeah.
also that sort of like principles of building, we'll include that resource in the follow-up email as well to make sure everyone gets it.
Yeah, and if you're looking for places to start, Ryan Anderson said it the best when we did our first webinar. 3-step apps, build 3-step apps like we just did. You'll learn so much on how it works, and then you can build a 6 and a 9 and a 12. And like I have one that's like 33 steps right now, but I didn't build that first. It took me months to get there. So just take a beat,
Yeah.
build the simple stuff, learn how to build, and then kind of move on.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself. I agree. Start building. So
Yeah,
thank you all
that's what
for
it is.
joining. I hope to see you in another workshop, another webinar. Ryan, thanks so much for your time. And
This was fun, guys.
yeah, it was fun. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Good weekend.
Bye, y'all.
All right.